Welcome to the Lumber Capital Combine. Events 4 and 5 will end the day of competition, and collectively they are known as Smelly knee sleeves. From 0 to 8 minutes on the clock, athletes will accumulate as many reps as possible, splitting the work with their teammate, only one partner working at a time. Starting with 3 rounds of 12 front squat and 12 pull-up. The front squat will be 155 pounds for males, 105 for females, and that barbell weight will remain the same for all movements in the workout. So we'll start with 3 rounds of 12 front squat, 12 pull-up, immediately into 3 rounds of 12 squat clean and jerk, and 12 strict pull-ups. Immediately into max rounds of 12 clusters, which is a squat clean thruster, and 12 hang to bar support. The hang to bar support can be a bar muscle up, or it can be a bar pullover, or it could be a combination of both of those movements. The scale barbell load is 115 for males, 85 for females. And for the scale gymnastics, the first 3 rounds will be ring rows, the next 3 rounds will be pull-ups, where kipping is permitted, and the final 3 rounds is chest to bar pull-ups. And then event 5 is from 8 minutes to 14 minutes on the clock, and is for cumulative load. Partner 1 will perform a 1 rep max overhead squat, and partner 2 will perform a 2 rep max shoulder to overhead. Again, this video is the event briefing, so be sure you're familiar with all the movements, the standards, because we will not have a in-person briefing the day of the events. Events 4 and 5 are scored separately as 2 unique 100-point events. Again, only one athlete may be working at a time during either of these events. For the ring row, for scaled, the bottoms of the rings are all going to be set to 40 inches across the board, and there's going to be a tape line on the floor directly under the anchor point for the rings. So basically, they're all hanging from like a pull-up bar. They're going to have a tape line directly underneath the rings from where they're handing. You're going to see the athletes have to keep their entire foot beyond that line as they're doing the ring rows. The ring row starts with straight arms underneath the rings and finishes with the knuckles touching anywhere on the torso. For the pull-up, the athletes go from a straight arm hang to the chin rising above the plane of the bar. Next is the strict pull-up. It's the same requirements as a kipping pull-up, straight arm hang to chin above the plane of the bar, with the addition that the athlete must keep their toes in front of the plane of the bar for the entirety of the movement. To make this clear, keeping the toes in front of the plane of the bar is only necessary during the lowering portion of the movement if the athlete's going to be doing another rep in an unbroken set. So if you're doing a set of 5, the first 4 reps, you have to control the lower where you're keeping your toes out in front of the plane of the bar. The 5th one, it doesn't matter. You can drop from the top. You can let your feet swing back after you've gotten your chin over the bar. It doesn't matter after you've gotten your chin up. You just won't be able to go in your next rep. So again, if at any point the toes go back behind the plane of the bar, it's going to be a no rep unless you drop down from the top after you've already successfully logged a rep at the top of the rep, because the rep essentially finishes at the top. Again, that's only an issue to think about if you're stringing multiple strict pull-ups, which I'm sure a lot of athletes will be. So again, making sure keeping the toes, keeping them in front of the plane of the bar. For the chest to bar pull-up, going from a hang to the athlete's torso, any part of their torso touching the bar. And finally, the hang to bar support. This could either be a bar pullover or a bar muscle up. So you're going from a dead hang underneath the bar to going up on top of the bar in a locked out position. Besides that, there's really no rules. You can get there however you want. You can do only bar muscle ups, you can do only pullovers, or you could do a combination of the two, or have your partners break it up differently as they see fit. And then finally, our barbell movements: front squat, squat clean, jerk, thruster, overhead squat. For those are all squatting movements. So in that case, the hip crease needs to pass below the top of the knee for all of the reps, and the athlete needs to then reach full extension of the hips and the knees at the top of each one of those reps. Again, that's true for front squat, for the squat clean and the squat clean jerk, the thrusters, squatting portion, and the overhead squat. All of those, that's true. For the shoulder to overhead portion of the squat clean jerk, and obviously the shoulder to overhead in the 2 rep max, the bar has to go from the shoulders to be then being supported overhead with the shoulders and elbows fully extended and the bar being over the athlete's body, no different than what we typically see from CrossFit Open standards. For the thruster, same requirements for the squat and overhead requirements, but then we have the additional requirement that the athlete has to keep their knees fully extended and then finishing the rep only with their arms. So the knees, once the knees extend, the knees are not allowed to rebend. They're not allowed to jerk their way back under the rep, right? The knees have to stay extended. Finally, athletes are allowed to use the rack for event 5. So they're going to be taking the overheads or release, they can take the overhead squats and the jerk out of the rack. However, you're not going to be able to receive outside assistance other than you and your partner. No one else is going to be able to help you, not your judge or your friend or anything like that, to react the weights if you miss, right? So if you missed your overhead squats, you and your partner or you have to figure out how to get that back into it, whether it's stripping down weights or lifting the by the collars to get it back in, however you want to do that. And then we'll also provide obviously all the plates that you need. So as small as 2.5 pound plates, we will provide. Finally, the scoring for the events. Again, there are 2 100-point events scored separately. Event 1 will be the most reps wins, with the tiebreak being event number 5, your heaviest load for event 5. And then event 5 is going to be the heaviest load recorded in pounds, as again, a cumulative total between you and your partner, with the tiebreak event being event 4, the one before. If you got questions about this event, be sure to comment below and we will answer your questions on YouTube here. Again, go through, see if other athletes have already asked that question if we've answered it. And then if you got day of the event issues, questions that you've got, disputes, things like that, be sure to go to the head table and we will answer that and get it figured out for you. Again, we'll see you in August and best of luck on Smelly knee sleeves.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.